Connacht and Ulster, folks. 15 points to 10, the away side get a win. This wasn't supposed to happen. Connacht, they got a bad record against Irish sides. They're up against the second place team in Ulster. They weren't supposed to win. 15 points to 10. Goodness gracious me. I've just got up this morning, folks, to watch this one. I'm very glad I did because I, for one, didn't see that result coming. I know Connacht have played some pretty bloody good rugby this year, but ultimately Connacht was supposed to go out in this game. Ulster supposed to be focused on this game. No Champions Cup to worry about. Time to get some silverware, potentially their year. Not to be, they're out. But anyway, we'll go through some key events and stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts. And to be honest, the start was a bit scrappy. The first 10 minutes especially. A couple of good knock-ons, not good knock-ons, a couple of good turnovers both ways, but also some knock-ons. Neither side was, I don't think at any point, absolutely firing on all cylinders in this game. Genuine scoring chances were kind of at a premium. But, Connacht certainly had the best of the early chances. They probably should have scored at some point. They had a bunch of phases in Ulster's territory. Eventually they get advantage. They go for a cross kick. It's well covered by the Ulster guys. It's one of those ones where it almost just felt like they took the cross kick because they had advantage. Why not? But it was 4 against 1. Trying to grab that cross kick out the air. So no real danger of it being scored. And then Connacht go back for a tap 5 metres out. They don't opt for any kick a goal. They don't opt for a line out. They go for a tap and they pre-latch. So they get pinged. And there's handbags. So it was a bit, I don't know, it's a bit of ill will, a bit of grumpiness as the commentators described it. And Andrew Brace, the referee, he didn't seem to be in a good mood either. Didn't seem to be enjoying himself. You're refereeing a quarterfinal, man. It's a big occasion. But anyway, handbags, and Connacht probably should have had points. It was 18 minutes into the game. They dominated the early periods, the early exchanges. They had nothing to show for it. Lowry got injured for Ulster, which was bad news because he doesn't come back on. But the good news was, a couple of minutes later, they got the first points of the game. They got a penalty. So, kind of against the run of play. Ulster in front at home, and you're thinking, wow, maybe that's Connacht's thing. You had your chances, you didn't get your points, and now Ulster are going to kind of get into gear and take the game away from you. Well, not really, because Ulster get 3 points back only a few minutes after Ulster have just put their first points on. Mac Hansen has to go off for a kind of HIA a while later, because he had a bit of a head clash with Porch, but I think he came back all right. So, the momentum didn't really shift that much. Prendergast, the number 8, put in a wee kick and chase, which led to a penalty when Ballacoon was kind of pounced on by the Connacht kick chasers. So from a number 8, not a bad wee nudge. 6 points to 3 from the resulting penalty. And then Ulster get themselves a yellow card warning, man. Too many penalties conceded at the breakdown. And the breakdown probably was the deciding factor of this game. I think that's basically where Connacht won the game. There's obviously multifaceted things at play, but if you were going to point to one area where the Connacht guys fronts it up, that would be it. Another penalty at the breakdown means it's 9-3 at halftime to Connacht. So, 6-point lead. Not bad. Probably better than they expected away from home. But on the balance of play, they probably should have had a try at some point. So you might not be that happy with that lead given the way the play had gone. They've had 60% possession, 54% territory. They've had 14 defenders beaten to 6. And they've had edged the kind of run meters, so 232 to 220. But yeah, it's still a 6-point game, so it's still a 1-score game. So for all that, you can still see Ulster come back into it. All you're thinking is, good halftime team talk. Get the Ulster guys to come back firing. Surely at home they'll come out and take the game away from Connacht. Well, again, not really, because Connacht get the first penalty of the second half, in off the post, admittedly, but it goes in. They all count the same, so 12 points to 3. And then maybe a game-defining moment on 47 minutes when Prendergast looks like he's gone over for a try, but the TMO chalks that one off because there's a wee knock-on in the build-up. Lucky, I think if Ulster concede a try there, the game is maybe done. Because it would have just been the absolute kind of, Ulster haven't looked like scoring that many points. At 12-3, they can still come back, but if it's another converted try beyond them, I don't know. But yeah, they escaped that one. There's a knock-on. Connacht do get another chance They go back for some phases. But then, like, the execution just lets them down. Aki with a really bad pass. Like, they just needed a bit of patience. But, yeah, they probably should have scored there as well. It's kind of similar story to the first half. But, I mean, they still win turnovers on defence. So, for every kind of bad moment for Connacht, they balance it out with something good, to kind of keep them in front. 60 minutes, finally, Ulster get a chance to really kind of properly maul it. The Connacht guys give away a couple of penalties. They get warned, and eventually O'Connor is able to go over from close range after the maul has gone close. So it's now 12-10, and the crowd, who've not had that much to cheer about, really start making their voices heard. And then maybe another game-turning moment if Ulster can score from like Balakoon's wee half break. He offloads to Vermeulen, but Vermeulen can't get his hands enough like control of the ball to pass it to somebody else before he's bundled into touch. If they can score there, maybe they go on to win the game. But, that's just kind of if, buts, and maybe. So, I mean, they do get the opportunity to maul it again because they ruled that it's gone out off a Connacht player. But in a key moment for Connacht, if you're flipping it on its head where Ulster could have won it, well, a key moment where Connacht won it was the fact that they were able to stop that maul from very, very close range. So good on the Ulster guys. The Connacht guys. They didn't compete in the air. They set for the maul. They stopped it. And then when Ulster had to go through phases, that whole breakdown thing comes up again. And then Connacht are able to win a penalty at the breakdown. So once they stopped the maul, they really gave themselves a good chance of, avoiding any Ulster score. Ulster offside on defence on 74 minutes after a wee Marmion break. So Connacht opt for the 3, so it's 15 points to 10. Ulster need to score a try. They gave it a bloody good crack, man, for the last couple of minutes. They were absolutely hammering on the Connacht defensive line. They got to the 22. It was either going to be a turnover or a try. You could kind of feel it, and kind of fitting with this game, it was a turnover. I think it was Tierney Martin, the reserve hooker, right? He was able to kind of pinch one at the breakdown, so Connacht are able to kick it out, and that is the game. Unexpected, man. I didn't see it, but as I said, it's not like it's surprising for me. It's an upset, but it's not that surprising that Connacht are able to put in a good shift because they've been a good team all year. It's just they're often stuck playing a lot of the pretty bloody good Irish teams. But anyway, well done to them, man. Phenomenal result. Absolutely gutting for Ulster. You'll be livid with that one if you're an Ulster fan, not being able to win at home after securing second spot on the log. Possession finishes 54-46, territories 53-47, so it kind of evens up a little bit, but Connacht still edge it. The run meters is not much in it, 369 Ulster, 387 Connacht. But I mean, the tackling percentage, 140 tackles each, but 90% for Connacht, 85 for Ulster. So just those kind of small margins, right? Connacht's defence, that's just that bit tighter. 5 turnovers, 1 for Ulster, 7 by Connacht. I mean, guys like Timoney and Co made like 20 plus tackles, but I mean, Aki got a few defenders beaten. Hansen had a few as well. I don't know, won a couple of turnovers. Key difference, but still, for all that, Connacht, your reward is going to be a trip to South Africa one way or the other. So they'll enjoy this victory. It's a heck of a victory. They did it without scoring a try. You do feel like Ulster didn't find their top gear, but neither did Connacht. Like I mentioned, they certainly missed some chances. So either way, it was a crazy game to watch. Very fitting of a knockout match. Kind of like, unlike the Champions Cup matches, which have in their knockout stages have been absolute blowouts. It was a proper knockout match. So well done, URC. As I said, Ulster disappointing, but well done, Connacht. Look forward what you guys can put out there next week. You guys let us know your thoughts. I better go get my kiddies some breakfast. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.